We're going to get started in just about a minute here. So what we do here in class is we ground down through 5-10 minute meditation. Then we have a 60-minute movement practice. And then we end with like a nice long Savasana final relaxation pose, which is like a laying down meditation that I'll lead you through. Some singing bowls and all of that stuff. Nothing stayed home. Yeah, for sure. I think a lot of us did. That was like the right thing to do. Yeah, but I made a lasagna for the first time. I'm not Italian, so like I've had it before, but I thought, okay, now's the time to eat it. Yeah, so making it through that New Year's was a win in itself. So today in class, just know that everything that I lead you through is an invitation. Don't feel forced into anything that doesn't feel good in your body. And, if something's challenging, that's great. Stick with it. See if you can just stay with it one more deep breath, even when you think you're ready to quit. But if something's painful in your joints, so it's like your knees, your elbows, your wrists, then you're just going to want to back off. Listen to your joints over my voice. When it comes to muscles like your biceps or your thighs or your core, give it another deep breath. I bet you'll surprise yourself. Leave room to surprise yourself. Alright, so we're going to get started here. Countdown off. And we're just going to take a moment here to arrive. So come to find a comfortable seated position. It can be on a chair or on the ground. If you're sitting on the ground and your lower back is giving you issues, then just raise your hips up by sitting on a block or a folded blanket. Hands come to rest on the lap, either palms down to ground down or palms up to give and receive energy. Close your eyes if that feels comfortable, and if not, you can just lower your eyes to a soft gaze, maybe a foot ahead of your body, your seat. I'm going to start with 3 cleansing breaths. In through the nose, out through the mouth. On the inhale, shoulders rise up towards the ears. And on the exhale, just let them drop, fall away. A deep breath in. And audible exhale out. And just allow the breath to continue in and out through the nose if that's available. Taking a moment here to arrive. Let go of everything that came before and everything that's to come up after. And just become present to yourself here in this space. Beginning to allow sounds into your awareness. And perhaps you can hear passing traffic out the window. And the sound of a radiator or heating system in your house. Letting all sounds in, all part of this moment. Notice the temperature of the air on your skin. And feel the weight where your body makes contact with the ground below you. And the weight of your hands on your knees. And we'll begin to scan the body from head down towards toes, checking in for any places of tightness or sensitivity, any restlessness or fidgeting. And taking note to work into those spaces that call out to you throughout our practice here today. Notice energetically where you're at in this moment. Scale of 1 to 10. 1 being exhausted, fatigued, ready to crawl back into bed. 10 being so full of energy, it's hard to sit still. And shift the attention to the breath. No need to change it, just observe. Inhalations, exhalations, and whatever space in between. And shift the awareness up to the mind, Manomaya Kosha. Allowing thoughts and feelings to arise without engaging with them. Just allow them to float by at a distance, like clouds passing in the sky. Notice what are the quality of the thoughts today. Are they holding on to the past or attempting to predict the future? Are they fragments of ideas or some long drawn out drama? Not good or bad, not right or wrong, just something to notice. When we bring the attention back down to the breath, the inner gaze back down to the breath. Anytime in class, in practice, that you feel yourself running away with your thoughts, distracted or avoidant, we can always bring back the attention to the breath as our anchor. Then we'll actively expand the breath, slowing the breath down and working to fill to a full lung capacity. First things first, complete exhale, completely empty out the lungs by pulling the belly button in towards the spine. Once that vacuum's created, inhale fully, allowing the belly to expand like a balloon inflating. And exhale releases belly button back down towards spine. Inhale fills belly. And exhale, full exhalation. Your own breath space. Inhale fills belly and ribs expand out to the sides. Exhale releases ribs and belly deflate. Breathing like this at your own pace, filling belly to ribs, exhaling ribs to belly. And the next inhale fills belly, ribs, and chest. Exhale releases chest, ribs, belly. Filling bottom to top from the bowl of your hips all the way up to the top of your collarbones as the chest lifts. And exhale, allowing the chest to fall, the ribs to deflate, belly deflate. Long breath space, slowing it down. You think you have no air left, sip in a little more. And when you exhale all the way, always letting something more go. Invite space between top and bottom teeth, no clenching in the jaw. Tongue falls away from the roof of the mouth. So when the tongue is pressed up against the roof of the mouth, it's called chitta vritti, or monkey mind. It allows thoughts in. And right now we're learning to focus on our breath, building a relationship between attention and breath. And the next time you exhale, release any effort from the breath, just returning to a normal breathing pattern. Notice if anything has shifted. Maybe your natural breathing's a bit deeper, a bit slower. From this peaceful place, bring your hands to meet at heart center, palms pressed together in Anjali Mudra. Thumbs pressed into the sternum, no space between fingers. Consider here setting an intention or a dedication for your practice. I'm talking about sankalpa, heart's desire, true heart's desire. What is your true heart's desire? And take that desire into the affirmative and present. Claim it as truth in the now. And we transform it from a wish into an affirmation, into an intention for our practice. And we'll seal that intention with the sound of Om. First, a clearing breath. Allow the hands to release to the lap, chin drops towards chest, and inhale, right ear rolls over towards right shoulder. Exhaling, chin to chest, left ear rolls over to left shoulder. I'm just allowing the breath to move you like this, side to side. Just opening that space between neck, ear, and shoulder. Whole upper body or upper back space. Good morning, Kai. Welcome, welcome. Glad you made it. All right. And the next time the head rolls through center, bring it up to neutral and begin to roll the shoulders forward. Roll the shoulders back. And then coming to stillness in the shoulders. We'll look over the right knee. Then tuck the chin in towards the chest. I'm looking directly at my knee. Hands come behind the head. And I'm just putting the weight of my arms on my head. I'm not pulling down. Gravity is enough. Shoulders melt away from the ears and stay nice and tall in the spine. Don't hunch over. 2 more deep breaths here. And release the hands from the head. Bring the head back to center and up. Look over to the left. Head drops down towards the knee. Hands come up over the head. So there's a slight pull towards the left here. But it's all really nice and gentle. Gravity is plenty. So opening up this trapezius muscle, the space between, that muscle between the neck and shoulder. We've got one last deep breath here. Release the hands from the head. Bring the head back up through center. Look over the left shoulder, the right shoulder, just side to side. Releasing any tension that might have built up. Bring it back to the middle. Inhale, arms sweep up overhead. And exhale, bend over to the right. Left arm reaches over. Inhale, up through center. And exhale, over to the left. Following the breath in to rise. And out to bend. Just follow your own pace here. Let the speed of your body be informed by the length of your breath. And the next time we reach over to the right, landing down on that right arm. Left arm reaches up and over, and just let it flop over the head. And here we're actively pressing into the left side rib cage by bending and breathing. Imagine all of the space in between the ribs expanding on the exhale and deflating on the exhale. Expanding on the inhale, exhaling, releasing. And bring it all the way over to the other side, releasing onto the left arm. Right arm reaches up and over, so letting that arm flop over the side. Inhale, expands, bending even deeper. And exhale, releases. It's a little pull back from that deep, deep bend. One more deep breath here. Bring it back up through center. Exhaling, twist to the right. Left hand lands on right knee. Right hand lands on the ground behind your back. Chest opens to side wall. Inhale up through center. And exhale, twist left. Inhale, rise and lift. Exhale like you're wringing out a sponge. Wring out the air by exhaling. Once more to each side. Meet back in center. Elbows bend, hands come towards ears, and just wave out the hands. Begin to warm up the wrists. Then drop the hands down and wiggle the fingers side to side, playing the piano really poorly. Flip the palms like you're what's it called? Tossing pizzas? Yeah. And the fingers are pressed all the way back here, using actually some effort. And shake off water. 3, 2, 1. Okay. Legs come out in front. Spread and scrunch the toes. Roll out the ankles. Waking up the legs here, waking up the lower legs. Change directions. We'll bend in the knees. Feet come mat's distance apart. We'll just drop the knees side to side. Making sure the feet are far enough apart that the knees land on the ground and not on top of the other leg. And then we'll come to seated with the right leg out in front. Make a fist with the left hand. And using the knuckles, we're just going to start to press into the bottom of the foot, like a nice massage. So I'm not really using arm strength. I'm letting my whole body rock forward and back. Just using the weight of my own body to do most of the work for me. Working all the way from the heel up to the toe ball mound, inner arch, kind of getting that whole area, whole surface area. All right, and then from here we're going to interlace the fingers with the toes. So pinky and your hand goes in between the tiniest toe and the next little toe. Then ring finger slips in between, middle finger slips in between that, so on and so forth. And your index fingers should end up between the big toe and the first little toe. That's how you know you've done it right. Push in as far as you can so that the webbing of your fingers are touching the webbing of your toes, or as close as you can get it. Right hand comes underneath the calf just to raise up the leg. And then here, I'm just going to roll out the ankle. So this might be a little painful at first, but we're just opening up the space between the ligaments on the foot. Change directions. We're kind of undoing everything that wearing shoes does to you all day. Alright, back to center. You're going to squeeze the toes as hard as you can with your hand. And then squeeze the hand with the toes as hard as you can. So alternating squeezing the foot and squeezing the hand. So this will either feel really great or really terrible. Either way, you're getting the benefit. So just trust the process. We're alternating. You can inhale, squeeze the hand with the toes. Exhale, squeeze the toes with the hand. Once more in either direction. And now both are going to squeeze tight. So hand is squeezing foot, foot is squeezing hand. Tight, tight, tight. We're still breathing even in the tension of this motion for 3, 2, 1. Release. Get all those out. Give the foot a little shake. Whew. Okay. Now, from here, grab onto the foot. Arm comes around the outside. And we're going to use it to bring the foot to the inside towards the bicep. If this is not within your range of grasp, it's okay. We're just grabbing hand and knee. That you can reach around, reach for opposite hands. Stay as tall as you can. We're going to give a little rock side to side. It's called rock the baby pose. So we're working into this hip. All this area is getting stretched out. The bottom leg might need to come out to make this possible. It's all good. Whichever variation works for you. And we're just especially pressing into any sticky spots. So spots that kind of feel like they're resisting back. No yanking, just nice and gentle. And then we're gonna release and shake it out. Alright. Opposite foot comes out in front, so left foot comes out in front. Make a fist with your right hand, so it's opposite foot and hand. Begin to work into the bottom of this foot with these knuckles, remembering we're rocking from the hips. So we're using the whole weight of the body to really work into the base of the feet here. Not really using hand strength or arm strength to do it. Alright, next phase, interlace the fingers with the toes, so pinky goes in between the smallest toe and the next, so on and so forth. You know you did it right when your index finger is in between the big toe and the first little toe. Then smoosh it all together, going in as far as you can to get the webbing of the fingers close to the webbing of the toes. Then the left arm comes underneath the calf just to hold it up. And we begin to roll out the ankle, creating space in the feet. Change directions. And I'm just letting my foot be completely relaxed, and I'm just doing all the work with my hands. And coming back to center. Still got a good grip. I'm gonna squeeze the foot with my hand, and then squeeze my hand with my foot. Going back and forth. Back and forth, still breathing. You can remember to breathe by connecting the movement with the breath. So you almost have like no choice but to breathe before moving on to the next pose, right? So we got one more alternating movement like this. And now foot and hand squeeze together. Tight, tight, tight. Tight as you can. Squeeze as tight as you can in both directions. For 3, 2, 1, and release. Whew. Put a little shake out. And then we'll come into our rock the baby pose, grabbing around the foot, grabbing around the knee. Once again, you can just grab on with hands or halfway. Whatever works for you. Stay nice and tall in the seat. Head over chest, chest over hips. And give ourselves a little rock side to side. Working into this hip. You might feel it here in the hamstring. Feel it in different places different bodies, different effects. Finding those sticky places and just kind of working a little extra into them. Alright, and we'll release that leg, give it a shake out. And we'll come to meet in tabletop pose, hands and knees facing the front of the mat. Squeeze that up. Just see what we're doing. Here we go. State-of-the-art lighting. Alright, so here we are in tabletop pose. So we've been working on our cat and cow stretches. Inhaling through cow, belly drops, hips and chest rise, and exhaling through cat, spine rounds. Today, actually that doesn't really work, does it? How about that? Yeah, that's a little better, I think. Today we're going to work on inhaling through cow, and then exhaling through cat as we tuck the chin in towards the chest. Shoelace part of the feet's on the ground, we're just going to lift the knees. Might just be an inch or two. Knees touch down, inhale through cow, exhaling through cat, grounding the spine, knees lift. So following your own breath's pace here, opening the belly and the chest for the inhale, rounding in the spine for the exhale, and adding that lift in the knees, that press in the feet. 2 more like this. Here in this exhale with the knees lifted, we're going to hold it here, squeezing the core, pressing the ground away, shoulders are strong, lots of space between the shoulder blades for 3, 2, 1. Nice. Knees release down, toes tuck under, send the hips back, and then we'll come up to kneeling on the heels. So now we're giving the feet a stretch on the opposite side. So the further you lean back, the deeper the stretch on the feet. 1 more breath here. Then hands come down, toes untuck. I'm going to inhale through cow pose. Exhale through cat, lifting the knees. And now this time, keep lifting the knees. See how far you can go. Maybe you can even flip over the feet. So we're working towards a roll over the toes without letting the ankles open out to the side. So there's none of this happening. Straight over. One plane of movement. So, pressing up and over. If that's not happening, it's okay. Just go 1 at a time. And we're just going to work towards it. We're just going to keep working in that direction. So, downward facing dog, first down dog of class. Let's bend one knee and then the other. Just waking up the backs of the legs. Shake the head no. Nod the head yes. Eyes stay open here. Define our spacing. We'll press it forward to plank pose. If you're too far forward, walk the feet back. Then press the hips back up to our downward facing dog. Do that a couple times, coming onto the toes, rolling forward. And then pressing back. Hips rise up and back like you're going to touch where the back wall meets the ceiling. And then one more time, roll it forward. And press it back. Hips lift and rise. Beautiful. Right leg reaches up and back behind you like it's going to touch the wall. And exhale, knee in towards nose, round the spine, just like in cat pose, rolling onto the tiptoes of the left foot. Shoulders come up over wrist. It's called tiger pose. Right foot steps up between the hands. Nice, and gently release the left knee to the ground. Untuck the left toe, so we're on the shoelace part of the back foot. Hands can press into the knee to come up to our low lunge, or you can rise straight up from the ground. Right hips pulling back, left hips pressing forward. So I'm squaring my hips to the short end of the mat. Anjaneyasana. Deep breath in here. Exhale, high twist to the right, so towards this front leg. Inhale up through center. Same side, twist right. Exhaling. Inhale, back through center. Exhale, right. Hold it here and the breath continues. Now this back hand, the right hand, can release down towards the leg or towards the lower back as the front left arm reaches up. So we're in a twisted back bend here. Still breathing fully. Really opening up that side body. And bring it back to center. And hands release down to the ground. Left toes tuck under. Press it up. Both feet come to meet at the top of the mat. Inhaling to a halfway lift. Big toes touch, a little space between the heels. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale brings you all the way up to stand. I'm going to give a little bend to the knees to protect the lower back. Arms sweep up when you get there. And exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, arms sweep up overhead. Head tilts back to follow the hands. Exhale, forward fold. A little bend in the knees. Inhale, halfway lift, hands on shins. Exhale, hands down to the ground. Left foot takes a giant step back. Right foot steps back to meet it in our plank pose. Straight line from the heels to the crown of the head. Make sure your lower back isn't dipping and you're not rounding. You're right in the middle. Squeezing the glutes. Pressing through the hands. Deep breath in. And exhale, we're going to lower down halfway. 3, 2, 1. So the elbows are pressed into my ribs, making a 90-degree angle with my arms. Then knees, chin, chest touch down. Tops of the feet release, and then press into a baby cobra pose. Hips are, glutes are squeezed, hips pressed into the ground, tops of the feet pressed into the ground. Shoulders, chest, and head rise. Not even using any arm strength at all. You can even keep your hands at a hover if you're tempted to press away. Shoulder blades squeeze together. Bhujangasana. Another deep breath here. Then hands press into the ground to lift you up. So we can continue playing with that foot, with the foot roller, that roll over that we're talking about. As the hips pike up, we roll over the feet. Or you can go one at a time. Awesome, awesome. Downward facing dog. Heels are pressing down towards the ground, even if they don't touch. Fingers are spread wide, eyes are open, gaze is between the ankles or the knees. We've got another 2 breaths here. Left leg sweeps up and back behind you towards the wall. Exhaling, tiger pose. Knee comes in towards nose. Round in the spine. Tiptoes of the right foot. Shoulders come up over the wrists. Left foot steps up between the hands. Gently release the right knee down to the ground. When you come up for a low lunge, you can always use that left knee as a step. Untuck the toes. Left hip's pulling back, right hip's pulling forward. So there's a bit of like a scissoring action towards center. That's going to keep you from completely just hanging on your joints, which is not ideal. So here we are, Anjaneyasana, shoulders melt away from the ears, deep breath in. Exhale, high twist to the left. Arms open like the letter T. We're turning towards that front leg side. Inhale, center. Exhale, twist. Inhale, center. Exhale, twist. We hold it here and the breathing continues. Front right arm rises as the back left arm lowers to the lower back or to the lower leg. We're opening this whole right side body with a back bended twist. Inhale brings you back up through center. Exhale, hands release down to the ground. Right toes tuck under. And step it up to the top of the mat. Inhaling to a halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale brings you all the way up to stand. Arms sweep up when you get there. And exhale to heart center. Hands come onto the hips. Step this up a bit. Awesome. All right. Hands come onto the hips. The right knee pulls in towards the body. You can grab around the knee and begin to pull the knee in towards the chest. So don't bring your chest towards your knee. You're staying upright. The knees pulling in towards the chest. Shoulders are melted away. So we are using some arm strength, but it's bicep strength, not shoulder strength. And when we release that hand, or release the hands, release the knee, like a seesaw, the head comes forward and the right leg goes back. Hands come on top of the left thigh, pressing the thigh back for stability. Crown of the head towards the front of the room, right heel towards the back, like making the letter T. Virabhadrasana 3, Warrior 3. Bend in the left knee and slow motion touch down. Beautiful. So now we're in a high lunge. Left hips pulling back, right hips pressing forward. Adjust if you didn't land the perfect spacing, that's okay. Try not to be on a balance beam. Instead, let there be space between front and back foot, widthwise and lengthwise. Left knee tracking over left ankle. Arms raise up overhead. And exhale, shoulders melt away from the ears. Drop the left hand onto the left hip. And the right arm reaches up and over, bending. I'll show you from the other angle. Bending to the side. So this hand's holding that hip in place. This arm's reaching over, opening this whole side body. So we're really opening the side body today. Side hip. Got one more breath here. Bring it back up through center. Hands release down to the inside of this left foot. Right knee releases down and heel toe the left foot off the edge of the mat at a 45-degree angle. You're going to walk the back foot back just a bit and then let the left knee open out to the side. I'll show you from this angle. And letting this knee open out to the side. Okay. Rolling onto the pinky side edge of this foot. Maybe a little, maybe a lot. Love you. Got it, girl. Okay. So from here, this is called lizard pose. You might feel like there's still space for you to stretch out. So you can bend in the elbows and release onto the forearms. And let the head land on a block or stacked fists. Might feel good for you to tuck the right toes under and lift the knee. There's really endless variations. It's not about what's more advanced than the other, or what's better or worse. What's best for your body is the right answer. Just breathing here, even in the discomfort, even in the contortion. So we're just like befriending discomfort, finding that edge. We're not avoiding pain, but we're observant of it, and that's kind of where we know when to back off. And the hands press into the ground, bringing you back upright. Rolling back onto the foot. Hands come to frame the foot. Right toes tuck under. We'll send that left leg straight up and back, downward facing dog, three-legged dog. And then that foot touches down. Nice. Right leg reaches up and back behind you. Exhale through tiger pose, rounding the spine, shoulders over wrists, right foot steps up between the hands. Left foot steps up to meet it. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale all the way up to stand. Arms sweep up when you get there. And exhale, hands to heart center. Now the left knee pulls in towards the body. Fingers can interlace below the knee. As we pull the knee in towards the chest, shoulders stay melted away, using just bicep strength to pull it in. Finding a drishti, a focal point for your eyes to land on that's not a person, pet, or something that's going to move closer to the ground is more stable. And as we release the hands from the knee, like a seesaw, head comes forward, left leg reaches back. Hands come on top of the right thigh, pressing the right thigh back for stability. Hips stay square to one another, crown of the head towards the front of the room. Heel of the left foot towards the back of the room, like making the letter T with the body. And bend in the right knee and float the left foot down to the ground, landing in a nice high lunge. Right knee over right ankle. We'll square the hips. Right hip pulls back, left hip presses forward, and find that nice spacing between the legs and the feet. Arms sweep up when you get there. And exhale, relaxes shoulders away from ears. Then right hand releases onto right hip, keeping that in place. Left arm reaches over for a side bend. Or pressing into the left hip, opening up the whole left side body. One more breath here. Bring it back up through center. And hands release down to the inside of the right foot. Gently release the left knee down to the ground and heel toe the right foot out to the side, letting the toes land at a 45-degree angle just off the mat. Drop the right knee open to the side, maybe a little, maybe a lot. Onto the pinky side edge of this foot, it rolls. You can untuck the back foot if that feels good. And one side might feel different than the other. You'll just find your depth here, maybe coming down onto forearms or onto a block. Head can land on stacked fists or the ground. Or you might tuck the left toes under and raise that knee up. Finding whatever variation combination works for you, where you feel challenged, but not like you're in excruciating pain. If you're at the point where you can't breathe, then just back off a little. Sometimes our bodies can get into shapes that aren't necessarily the best for us. And we're just breathing fully here. Inhales invite space. Exhales invite release. And hands press into the ground, bringing yourself back upright. Bring the knee back over the ankle, heel toe the foot back in towards center. Left toes tuck under, right leg swings up and back behind you. Three-legged dog. And right foot steps down. Nice. Bring yourself up to tiptoes and gently release the knees down. Big toes come to touch. Knees come out wide. Hips press back for child's pose. Reaching the arms forward, reaching the chest forward. Head comes down to relax. Giving a little forehead massage, letting the head rock side to side. And walking the hands back, up. Bringing the knees back together to touch. We'll sit down. Bringing the legs out in front. Hands come behind the knees. Turn to face the back. We'll gently release back. Ooh, rolling back, giving the knees a hug. Little rock side to side. And then we'll release the feet down towards the ground, maybe hips distance apart, heels close into the glutes, close into the hips, hands release down by the sides, shoulders tuck under. And we'll revisit our Dirga Pranayama, our 3-part breath. Inhaling into the belly, hips begin to rise. Inhaling into the ribs. Middle back rises, and into the chest, all the way into the upper back. The top of the inhale, fullest expression of Setu Bandhasana, or bridge pose. Exhaling, release. Chest, middle back, ribs, lower back, and hips. There's a little tuck of the hips at the very end, so we're lowering one vertebra at a time. Just connecting with your own breath pace here. Inhaling to rise, gently peeling the spine up off the ground. And exhaling to release top to bottom. One more round at your own breath pace. And once the hips touch down, bring the feet to touch. Let the knees splay open to the sides. Arms reach up overhead. And we're just allowing the hips to relax in the opposite direction. the knees come back in through center. And gently release the knees over to the right. Right hand comes to land on top of the left knee. Left arm opens up like the letter T for a reclining twist. Supta Matsyasana. Just pressing the left shoulder towards the ground. Everything else is completely relaxed. Head comes up through center, knees come up through center. And release the knees over to the left. Left hand comes to land on top of the right knee. Right arm opens up like the letter T. Gaze can look over the right arm for a complete spinal twist. Head comes back up through center, knees come up through center. Give the knees a nice hug, squeeze in. We'll rock side to side. Notice if there's any last movement or stretch or pose that your body's calling for that would really round out your practice. Anything that called out for attention in the beginning of class that you haven't quite gotten a chance to get to yet. And just move through that flow or that pose as it calls to you. As we set up for our Savasana, final relaxation pose. It might look like grabbing a sip of water or a blanket. Our body temperature does lower in this next pose. And this pose actually is about comfort. It looks like laying flat on your back. If that brings any pain to your lower back, try putting a rolled towel or a pillow underneath your knees to create a bend in the knees when you're laying back. That is going to help alleviate a lot of that tension. Making your way into the other side in case there's two sides to that pose. And I'll be seated up just so I can play the singing bowl for you. But you stay laying down. Arms released down by the sides. Palms face open. Hands land at least 6 inches from the body. Palms face open, a symbol, a mudra of receptivity. Allow yourself to receive the benefits of your effort here today. Legs land down the length of the mat. Feet land at least a foot apart from one another. Legs so relaxed that the feet naturally splay open to the sides. Eyes can close if that's comfortable, if not, a soft gaze towards the ceiling. And we'll begin this just as we did our earlier meditation with 3 cleansing breaths. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Audible sigh on that exhale. And allow the breath to continue in and out just through the nose if that's available. Letting your exhalations become longer and deeper than your inhalations. With every exhale, allowing yourself to sink heavier into the ground below you, like blood sinking into hot sand. In your breath, the waves lapping up to shore. And as the sun rises on the horizon, its light begins to travel across this beach you find yourself on. And the heat, the warmth of its rays begin to shine on your toes and your feet. And that light spreads onto your ankles and your shins. An early morning light warming up your knees, your thighs. Sunlight expands over your hips and pelvis, illuminating your belly and chest. Fingers, wrists, forearms, upper arms and shoulders, all bathed in this warm, sunny glow. Your throat, chin, mouth, cheeks, nose. And the rays of light continue to shine upon you, your ears, eyes, forehead, all the way to the top of your head. Whole body illuminated. Whole body illuminated. Whole body illuminated. Rest here, basking in that glow. The waves lapping up to shore. grateful for everything that did and did not happen in class today. Know that in yoga, practice always makes practice. Nothing more, nothing less. And gently invite your inhalations to deepen. All that feeling of heaviness replaced with a feeling of openness and lightness in the front side body. Begin to invite movement into the fingers and the toes as they wiggle. And head gently rocks side to side. Arms reach up overhead for a full body stretch. The knees bend and roll over to whichever side feels natural, landing in a fetal position. Fully released and fully supported by the ground below you. Let yourself be held here by gravity and the earth. Bring to mind any intention or dedication you set for class. And if that intention serves you, take it with you off the mat and into the world. Allow it to affect you and the people around you for the rest of your day. Gently, with as little effort as possible, press your hands into the ground to come up to a seated position, just like how we started class. Hands come to meet at heart center, palms pressed together, Anjali Mudra. Today we practiced opening up the side body, the ribs, intercostal muscles, the outsides of the hips as well. The first namaste is said silently to yourself, thanking your body for the effort it put into class. And the second namaste is said out loud to one another. Namaste. Thank you, thank you, thank you for joining me today. I hope you find something that serves you in this practice of movement or stillness or breath, whatever it might be. As always, I'm available to answer questions, take recommendations. You can always drop it in chat or privately message me. I'm more than happy to do that. And I will see you tomorrow. Same time, same place.